And this is essentially the practice. I have covered this practice in many places. The practice I'm referring to is what is called 6R: recognize, release, relax, re-smile, return, and repeat. So this is essentially the 6R means it is a combination of right effort, right mindfulness, and right intention. So this 6R has got three very important elements. Is a right intention is the intention of abandoning, which is the releasing element. The relaxed state is a state of calming, is abandoning, is also embedded in there, and it is combining the other element of right mindfulness, which is to observe how the phenomena do arise and how they are abandoned, how they are let go of. And that is how this all these concepts, all these phenomena, the fire of craving, the fire of all these phenomena are progressively they are abandoned, they are reduced, and their heat will become lesser and less. So that is how the suffering will become uh, the state of mind, the heat, that agitation will become less and less. And that is how we can directly see that there is such a state called a mind that is not lashed into any of these phenomena. That mind is not picking any heat, any vibration, any kind of contact with all these phenomena. It is cool, it is disengaged, it is empty, and that is a very, 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 very vivid and uh, important state. And how do we arrive at that state? Is we abandon these, very, very gross distractions. These are those gross distractions are called the five hindrances. We abandon them by not paying attention to those distracting experiences. So these are called sensual thoughts, ill will, restlessness and remorse, doubt, and sloth and torpor. Yeah. So these distractions are the states that will make the mind heavy. Yeah. So if we want to we can make a very, very simple observation. Which one do you think is a happy state? Uh, an object that is loaded with large burden of all this heavy stuff, heavy feeling, heavy contact, heavy attention, heavy consciousness, or a state where all these heavy burdens have completely been abandoned. It has completely nothing. So you can compare a mind that has no burden, no heavy load, and completely devoid, totally empty. It's devoid of all phenomena. Yeah. So if you compare these two, you can immediately can identify, you can see this is suffering and this is the end of suffering. Yeah. So this is how we in our meditation We start our meditation with sort of very, very heavy, extremely mundane state of mind that is so much preoccupied, so much obsessed, so much anxious and worried, and many, many uh, such preoccupations, causing the mind to sink. It is sinking in that sort of quicksand or that sort of very, very vicious cycle. And imagine if when these things that are dragging your mind, that are so heavy, the mind is barely able to cope with this sort of burden. And if they have been successfully abandoned, separated, when they have been abandoned and separated, and mind becomes lighter and lighter because all these burdens have been let go, you can see the freedom, that state of mind, which is empty, which is devoid of all these phenomena, is at the state of freedom from suffering. And that is what it will that is what it will be like to be without suffering.